Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tattoos and Telehealth. I'm Kelly White, nurse practitioner. This is my great colleague Nicole Baldwin. And as always, our lawyers make us say this podcast does not constitute a patient-provider relationship. This is by no means medical advice. We're just two gals chatting it up, and we previously recorded some information about Sermorelin and all about that peptide because peptides are the new thing. And so, for those of you that have listened to that episode, this is a great one to kind of tag along. We're going to chat about the big differences between Sermorelin, the peptide, and testosterone, because those two things really do go hand in hand, but there is a huge difference between the two. And we wanted to be sure that we kind of touched on that. So, if you haven't listened to the podcast about peptides, Sermorelin, stop, go back, take a listen to Sermorelin, and then come back and listen to this one. So, it'll kind of make more sense. It'll flow a little bit better for you. But so as you guys know, if you've been listening, I shoot archery. Nicole is very health conscious. Her and her husband work out. And so the world of testosterone comes up a lot. In my world, it's considered doping for the professional archers. They do get tested. And so it's a sensitive subject when they come to me and say, "Hey, Kelly, if I start Sermorelin, I know that that's a growth hormone, and is it an analog to testosterone? And am I going to get tested? Is it going to come up? What's the deal?" Because there's a lot of information out there about testosterone. There's testosterone supplement, right, Nicole, for people that are like low testosterone, and then there's like doping testosterone. Um, and there's like this whole gamut in between. And so as healthcare providers, I especially with hormone replacement therapy, we do a lot of testosterone replacement. And in women, I do it, in bioidentical hormones compounded in a cream for my ladies that are perimenopausal or menopausal, need that little extra. Like there's a whole world of testosterone out there, but there's a big difference, right, between the Sermorelin peptide and synthetic testosterone. So kind of explain to us what those differences are and why it matters.
Sure, and we can put this chart, this side-by-side chart in the comments and on our page for you to download it because there is some pros and cons to both. And so
And
we're just gonna go over those. What's that?
can we put those in the show notes for everybody?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. So let's just go, we're gonna go comparison. So the type of hormone that Sermorelin is, it's a peptide analog of growth releasing hormone, where testosterone is a steroid hormone, and that's the androgen. So two different types of hormones. For the mechanism of action, how this works in your body. Sermorelin simulates the natural growth hormone production via the pituitary gland, and testosterone directly replaces low testosterone levels. So, very two different things there. The primary use for Sermorelin typically is age-related growth hormone deficiency, body composition, sleep, energy. Testosterone's primary use is for low testosterone or hypogonadism, libido, and muscle mass. So, Sermorelin, age-related deficiency, body composition, lean muscle mass, sleep, and energy. Testosterone primary use is low testosterone treatment, libido, and muscle mass.
So
So
like
those
an
are the two
organic
differences.
problem.
For the formulation for Sermorelin, it is typically an injection, usually under the skin. Testosterone can also be given an injection. It's also a gel or a cream, a patch, or a pellet. So the main formulation difference that I like specifically for this is that if you have young family or you use the cream or the patch, or if another family member even touches it, it can have great repercussions. So for those who have small children or grandchildren, or around the elderly, or when you have the cream on, you have to be very, very, very careful because it will transfer to another person very, very easily. So for the formulation of Sermorelin, it's injection, usually subcutaneous, which cannot be transferred. And for the testosterone, the injection can't be transferred, but if you're using the gel or the cream or the patch, it can be. So we just want to make sure that you understand the difference in the two. The onset of action for the Sermorelin, it is gradual over time, usually 30 to 60 days, supports natural feedback loop. Whereas testosterone does have a faster onset and it gives you that immediate hormone boost. So that's the difference of the how long it takes to work. For the effects on fertility, Sermorelin preserves or may even improve fertility, whereas testosterone may suppress sperm production and make fertility difficult. So, very, very different side effects for that. And Sermorelin is not FDA approved. It's used for off-label for anti-aging and the growth hormone deficiency. And testosterone is FDA approved for hypogonadism, which is low testosterone. It is a controlled substance, whereas the Sermorelin is not a controlled substance. Common side effects for Sermorelin are injection site redness, flushing, headache. And I say common, but those are the most common, but they don't happen commonly. So if you're going to have a side effect, it's super rare, but it's going to be injection site redness, flushing, or maybe a mild headache, but that itself is very rare. Common side effects with testosterone is acne, grumpiness, mood changes, the gynomastica, where the men start to have a little bit of extra breast tissue, and increased red blood cells. You have to go give blood often, and also hair loss as well. So with that testosterone, probably the biggest difference that people will say this is why one over the other is the acne, the mood changes, the increased breast tissue, and having to go give blood on the testosterone as well as hair loss, whereas Sermorelin doesn't have any of that.
And
We talked about risk to family members. There's none with the Sermorelin, high risk with topical forms, for risk of transfer to women and children. And then each of them have their own different monitoring needs. And the last thing I want to talk about is the dependency risk. Sermorelin comes with a low dependency risk. It stimulates natural production, whereas testosterone has a moderate to high risk for dependency. And it actually may suppress your own ability to create what testosterone you are creating. So those are the main differences with these two. And we'll have this this chart, this side-by-side chart for you guys to take a look at so that you can actually visualize it, see it in your hands, and print it out if you want.
I think the big thing to remember or to take away, at least for me in these situations, is testosterone, natural testosterone is a steroid. It is an anabolic androgenic steroid. So it oftentimes when you hear people use the term anabolic steroids, they are generally referring to a synthetic, in other words, made in a lab variation of testosterone that is injected in your body. That is not Sermorelin. Sermorelin is not an anabolic steroid. So that is the biggest difference that I think we need to hit home is where one can actually be considered this is an anabolic steroid, this is a synthetic steroid, that is not Sermorelin. So that is a huge takeaway for people that are athletes, people that are bodybuilding, that are competing, people that are going to be tested, people that are going to need to know, can I use this and not worry about, getting tested or getting in trouble. That's a huge difference. So I think that that's an important thing to take away is that there's a huge difference there. And like Nicole said, a lot of that has to do with the fact that the dependency level, right? So there's a dependency over here that's pretty strong for one versus the other, and that also draws the line there between steroids.
Sure. And I also want to say, important close to home is that my spouse was on testosterone and he ended up with a blood clot. Very healthy, like super like gym 6 to 7 days a week, super health conscious. He hasn't always been, but over the last couple of years, he has been, was in the best shape of his life. Got on some testosterone, was on it for a few months, and got a blood clot in his leg. Because of his activity level, he was at a extremely low risk for a blood clot. We went to the ER. We've been to hematology, oncology. Sorry, not hematologist, oncologist, but hematology, where they tried to figure out exactly why he got this blood clot, and it came down to testosterone use. And I don't know how much you guys know about a blood clot, but once you get one, you are more prone to them, and it can be life changing, life altering. Blood clots can go to your brain, they can go to your lungs, they can go to your heart, they can be fatal. And it is not something to play around with. So Sermorelin does not come with that risk. And that was the big thing for us and why we're really big on Sermorelin, because we want to make sure the benefit always outweighs the risk of any type of therapy. And because testosterone does come with this type of risk, it's definitely concerning. And, hit close to home. He had a blood clot for several months, and he's on a blood thinner for the rest of his life because of testosterone.
That's crazy. But he's doing much better now.
He is doing much better now, but still frequent follow-ups with hematology
Yeah.
labs. I mean, they ran so many labs on him trying to find what else it could have been. And it all came back. It all came back to testosterone. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's
so there's a no for us. So if someone else can learn from us and avoid that type of medical issue, then it's, definitely want to put that out there. So we just wanted to make sure we talked to you guys about that. And if you guys have any questions, let us know. You can find us at hamiltontelehealth.com. You can text us, you can call us, you can email us. All that information is on the website, and we hope you have a fabulous week.
all right, you guys, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.